Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Give us, guys, everybody a second there to get in here, take a few sips of my coffee while I wait for the people to populate here. Good morning, Super Aslan. Welcome, everybody. I'm Gary Leland. I'm producer of the Fastpitch TV show located at fastpitch.tv. And this is Morning Coffee. It used to be Morning Coffee with Fastpitch TV, and I thought that was kind of redundant since the name is at the top of my Twitter, our Periscope post. So I changed it to Coffee with Gary. So that's me. And like I said, I'm part of the produce the Fastpitch TV show, which you can find all my episodes at fastpitch.tv. Hey, Rapsio. But if you're interested in finding this show later or any other shows, just go to fastpitch.tv. Now, today's topic is parents, players' parents. Hey, WB Nitro, welcome back. Player parents is this topic for today, and this is such a topic. I'm kind of looking at today's show from a coach's aspect instead of from a parents' aspect. Parents, I once asked a friend of mine who's a D1 coach. I don't see any reason to give out his name, but you all would know him. I once did an interview with him, and I asked him, what is the number one thing you would tell a new coach starting out? His answer made me laugh, but it was, later I realized how true it was. He said he would tell the new coach starting out to find all players who were orphans for his team. What did he mean by that? He meant find players. He said, after he said it, he goes, I really don't mean that, but I caught the drift afterwards. I thought about it, and he really meant, it would be so nice to deal with just the players and not the parents. Sometimes the parents bring baggage to the team. Sometimes they're great parents and they have all, they're trying to do the best. They aren't meaning to, but they cause issues. Now, on my team, we had really strict rules for parents. Strict guidelines. For instance, my parents were not allowed to come over to the dugout and talk to players. How many times have you seen, if you play a lot of softball, a kid in the outfield and all these parents are yelling? Something's going on. They're not yelling, but they're yelling, but they're not yelling mean stuff. And all of a sudden, the one parent of the kid yells. Out of that whole crowd, that kid is able to zero in on their parent's voice. And, and actually, in some cases, according to what the parent says, start breaking down on the field. They pick up that sound out of the whole crowd there. So our parents weren't allowed to yell from the stands at their players. They were not allowed to come over to the dugout. How many times have you seen a kid just makes a terrible play, team comes in, and the parent comes over there and goes, Donna, what happened? Why'd you miss that ball? Well, she really doesn't want to consult the parents right then in front of all her friends. And she's feeling bad enough already probably because she's let the people down. So they weren't allowed to come into the dugout and talk. Parents could not come in the dugout, pack up their players' gear, so they could just leave the field. My parents were not the players', valets. Players had to pack up their own gear. They had to carry their own gear, had to tote their gear around. Parents weren't allowed to even carry their gear. They had to carry their own equipment. Sure, parents carried nets and things like that, but not the players' personal gear. We never allowed that. And a thing that I think was the best thing we ever did, or I ever did, is when we went to 14 and under. At 14 and under, I had a parents' meeting with the coaches, and, most of these parents knew me. We've been playing together for a while. And at the parents' meeting, I told the parents, I will no longer have meetings with you about your player. You and I won't discuss this anymore. If you have a problem with Susie's playing time or Debbie's spot in the lineup, you and I won't talk about it anymore. As a coach, not only do I need to teach your kids to play, I need to teach your kids to interact with their head coach. So from now on, your kids have to come talk to me. Now, you can come with them, or you can call on the phone with them, but I'm only going to communicate with your players from now on, your kids from now on, because they're big enough, old enough, and smart enough to handle these situations on their own. And if they can't talk to me, someone who actually loves each and every one of them, hey, Glitter Girl, how are they ever going to deal with a college coach? What are they going to do when they get to college? Call you up and you're going to call a college coach and say, handle this problem, take care of this problem, Mom? I can't handle it. Would you call my coach? So that was the rule. From 14 up, I would not deal with parents. Now, here's a situation that happened. And as you know, I always tell these stories from, my angle, and I know I'm not always right, but this is things that happened to me. I had a new player come on the team, and I gave him the rule at the beginning of the season. I think this was at 15 under. Like everybody knew the rule. Some people had called on the phone with their kids and say, hi, Gary, this is Nicole, and Jennifer wants to talk to you. She's on the line. I say, hey, Jennifer, what's happening? Sometimes they just come over and meet with me, and the parents would be there and say, Susie wants to ask you something, Gary. And I talked to them forever. I love those kids. But I had a new parent come on the team, to get back to what I was saying. And the parent called me up and says, I want to know why Debbie didn't play that third game. And I gave him the answer, which I'm not going to get into. And he goes, first of all, I said, well, I'm not going to discuss this with you, Ted. You know my rules. I don't discuss this stuff with parents. Now, if your daughter was on the phone and she wanted to ask me, I would be, well, I didn't know the rule. I'm a new parent. That's what he told me. Can't you give me a break this one time? I'm a new parent. I didn't know that rule. I said, well, that's the only rule I had at our parents' meeting. I was kind of confused. So anyway, I finally gave in and said, okay, we'll talk about it. So I discussed it with him why she didn't play, which was perfectly logical reason. And we went, he goes, okay, well, I don't think that's right, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, anytime a parent tried to do something, I would address the kid later. So at the next tournament that Saturday, the player, my daughter, and I are walking maybe to the concession stand, I don't know, and I said to her, hey, do you have anything you want to ask me? And she goes, no, Coach, why? I said, well, I assume you have something you want to ask me. No, I have nothing to ask. Well, your dad called me and said you were all upset about you didn't get to play that third game last weekend, and I thought maybe you wanted to personally ask me about it so I could tell you. And she goes, this was great. She goes, what? My dad called you? I said, yeah, he said you had playing problem time. I said, I had no problems with why I didn't play that third game. I know why I didn't third game. And then she told me why she didn't play, and it was the same thing I had told her dad. Exactly. And she was very upset that her dad called. But I'm only bringing this up because that goes to show that the parents can cause trouble. The kid was fine with not playing, but the parent thought his kid was so great and should be in every game that he was upset about it. But not the player at all. So I really think that you owe it to your players to do some guidelines for your parents. And if your parents don't know you or don't trust you good enough, you probably shouldn't be working with their kids. You probably shouldn't have their kids on your team. But that's my thoughts on parents, is maybe sometimes it's better not to have them around. As a coach, you need them around. I'm not saying not to, but, they can cause trouble as well as good. Also, before we go, I want to make sure you know that Friday we'll have a drawing for a signed Monica Abbott photograph. All you have to do is tweet at Fastpitch TV. I love Fastpitch TV, and I love Monica Abbott. And that's it. And then be here Friday morning when we do the contest. And out of the people that enter, which won't be a ton, last week's contest, I think we had 4 or 5 people enter. So it won't be a ton. So your odds of winning a Monica Abbott signed photograph is pretty good. And another tip for you, we just come out with a new website. We're still building it. It's not finished. It's called softballstuff.com. And you'll notice that it's not 100% done, but it is fully operational. We're adding new equipment daily. Anyone that goes to the website, if you buy anything and use the code FPTV10, that's FPTV, like Fastpitch TV 10. If you use that code at checkout, you get 10% off anything on the entire site, and that includes bats. So I just gave you $35 to $35 off your next bat. Okay? Now, please tell your friends about this show. Like I said, I didn't say this, but I come on every weekday at 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you want to check me out, I'm here every weekday at 8 o'clock in the morning. And if you want to see past Periscopes, I'm storing all those at fastpitch.tv/Periscope. So if you go to fastpitch.tv/Periscope, you can see previous Periscopes there. That's where I'm storing them at for you. But that's about it for the morning coffee. So I want to say thank you for coming. If you get any questions or subjects you want me to cover, send me a message and let me know, and we'll cover them on a future show. I try to keep these shows at 5-6 minutes. I probably went overboard on this one, but I appreciate the hearts there, and that's it till tomorrow. But thanks.
Do you need a softball bat? Do you want to save $30? SoftballJunk.com is offering an additional $30 discount off the price of all non-sale softball bats on their website. That's right, $30. So the next time you buy a bat, go to softballjunk.com and enter the code FPTV30 during checkout. And wham! You just put a cool $30 in your pocket.